Hello and welcome back to Tyranny. So last time we finished investigating Larian's Crossing for now, and took a little rest in our penthouse, and that was it. Larian Crossing is a nice place, a lot of good people there. I'm feeling really good about killing those bandits who terrorize them, and we're done for now with that, and we're gonna check out Iron Heart, which is a pretty nice place, I guess. There's this favor took up camp after to continue the war effort against the Scarlet Chorus. Anyhow, let's go there. It's day. It's night. It's day and night and day and night. There you go. We're going there. Oh. Wonder how much they will cooperate with us. They'll probably like us. Well, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah. Probably not the best choice. Maybe I shouldn't have taken her on this adventure. They might even ask me to kill her. Hey Alfonso, did I see you in Tunan's court? Nope. The disfavored soldier chuckles with disdain at the Scarlet Chorus fighter. Consider it? Not for a second. We pick our soldiers from elite, northern families. We don't recruit from flies buzzing over a mass grave. Are the disfavored not so narrow-minded? My gang's strength deliver us across half a dozen battles with a line of fallen enemies in our wake. Not many conscripts can say the same. The question is not a matter of your skill, but of your breeding, your training, your pedigree. Noticing you, the Iron Guard salutes. Hail Graven Ash, Fatebinder, if I might take a moment of your time. What do you need? This person comes representing the Scarlet Chorus gang. What did you call yourselves again? The Grinning Bleeders. We have a long and storied reputation in the Scarlet Chorus ranks, killers of the highest order, and my gang puffs up his chest with pride. Before I was boss here, I ran with the Broken Shifts, the Salty Nightmares, the Trap Gang. Everyone made a name for themselves during the war. You made up at least two of those gangs, but don't even bother denying it. Just be careful what names you toss around when there's a former boss standing within earshot, you little pissant. One of his eyebrows snaps up at attention. Verse, so kind of you to chime in with your corrections. In any case, he's asking to join the disfavored, which is out of the question. I explained the numerous reasons why we can allow it, but the branch won't listen. Is that accurate? It is. We're not looking for special treatment, it's just a new beginning. Seeing as we are healthy, fit, and combat ready, the Ironclads should have no reason to refuse us, he sniffs, especially since they are low on numbers. That may be true, but it's no excuse to pollute our respectable ranks with your company. Well, you need to cut back on the attitude, Alfonso. We are more than capable. Put any weapon in our hands or send us on any suicide mission. It will be mercy compared to what we faced under the voice of Nerat. That much is true, at least. There's something to be said for a general who isn't going to gut you in your sleep because it suits his flair for the artistic. Those are the first fair words I've heard you speak about General Ash. Perhaps you are coming around. Then you can count on them being the last, you overfull middle pile. If we joined up, the disfavored wouldn't have compromised their staunch. The northern Moros, we would take the bloody work off their hands. Do you want me to decide the matter? You must know Kyros' laws back to forth, and I trust you know our traditions as well. If it peels this lamprey off my backside, I'll allow it. Speaking for my gang, we'll accept your judgment. We are eager to crack some tearsmen's skulls with Kyros' army again, no matter what color they wear. Let me take your testimony first. Of course, I have nothing to hide. Why can't the recruits join the disfavored? Most of us would rather swallow our tongues than take orders from some rigid officer who talked his way into leadership, but to each their own. Where do I start? Not only does Graven Ash handpick his disfavored from the decorated northern stock, he takes a personal interest in our training and education. We are his sons and daughters. To accept anything less in our ranks would hold the very process in contempt. The only capacity they could serve would be manual labor, hauling wagons or digging latrines, but that's the work for slaves, and not what they are come requesting. Why the interest in the disfavored? Better training, better quarters, iron weapons. The disfavored have everything we wanted out of joining the military. We want to see Kyros to the best of our abilities. Is that asking too much? Our ironclad here seems to think so. Their respect for command leaves something to be desired. Well, that's how it works. You know, you gotta teach them. Why did you leave the Scarlet Chorus? Our old gang boss fell, at least at the last battle of Vendrion's Well. We saw how the disfavored operated and realized it was a chance for a better life. A longer one too. Desertion happens every day in the Scarlet Chorus. I can tell you what we won't be missed. He says that like he's boasting. Only the shitheel recruits who never make a name for themselves are overlooked at muster. What is my help worth to you? We are playing the game. We are playing that game, are we? He grins. I managed to pocket a few handful of rings. Fair trade for starting a new life. Stealing from the boss is a good way to find yourself at the end of a pike. Be prepared to change your name before the end of the war. Accept rings. You can train with the disfavored, but I can't allow you to join. What abomination of law is this? That will do. We had an idea this would be the most we could get. If we keep training and show up at a few battles, maybe the Legion will take us up on our offer. Time will tell. Good luck. Ooh. This favor didn't like that, but I think that was a fine outcome. What is this? Is it a good staff? Let's just take it.
That wasn't so hard.
Anyhow,
Can't do that.
I think it makes sense. Seems like those guys just wanna fight. Just wanna do what the disfavored do, and Kalos. Greetings, Famebinder. Kalos, 32nd Legion. Soldier salutes. Glad to see Tuno's agent's grace, Ironheart. Ash's troop has no lack of order, but a servant of the court is always welcome. Between our missing commanders and a Scarlet Chorus lieutenant pinned down, I'm afraid we have our hands full. I suppose I can spare a moment for a conversation. You need something from me? Tell me about Scarlet Chorus, Lieutenant. Seems our troops have this little maggot of Scarlet Chorus Lieutenant cornered over at Cascado Village. From what I'm hearing, it's the same guy who's been ransacking our caravans the past few weeks. If I wasn't already handling something for Ash, I'd go and skin this filth myself. You being the here simplifies matters. Make sure this lieutenant doesn't leaves the village with his life. Well, I handle it. Good of you to pitch in. No one will mourn the loss of one more curious rat. Do I have questions? I have more questions before I go. No problem. What do you need? I don't have it right now. I think we're good. How is that? You're welcome. I'm tempted to, if this conflict, I can make peace between both armies. I'm tempted to go with the disfavored, but the disfavored need to change a bit. Of course, the Scarlet Chorus would need to change too, but seems like the disfavored is a better starting point. Kind of you to stop and chat. I'm in a sticky situation. No one in my gang is alive or around to help me out. Stop wasting the Fatebinder's time. He has better things to do than listen to some criminals mewling. I'll be the judge of that. Tell me of your problem, soldier. Thanks for hearing me out. The disfavored aren't keen on conversation, otherwise I wouldn't be here. It's impossible to get a word in edgewise. She glares at her captor. Soldiers caught me outside a breach in the old walls. That's it. I wasn't inside. I hadn't stuck my toe throughout the threshold. I wasn't dancing with any bane. I have a healthy relationship with self-preservation. And then why were you arrested? You're only hearing one side of the story, Fatebinder. Our scouts observed this French readying to enter the old walls. Her account is flawed. Her guilt witnessed by multiple trustworthy northerners. The soldiers makes a point of standing extra straight when he addresses you. I like that. I'm sorry. Is readying to enter the best you have? Because I could just as easily argue that you are readying to get knife between your shoulder blades, but it doesn't count for shit until I see blood and bronze. I didn't go into the old walls. Case closed. Before I educate on this matter, I need your mutual cooperation. If you ask me, this prisoner has already been tried and sentenced, but if this little game will silence her caterwauling, then be my guest. I stand by my decision. I couldn't land it couldn't land me anywhere worse than this. What were you doing outside the old walls? My gang went inside as I tried to tell the disfavored clods 100 times over. I shouted myself raw, trying to get them back out, but the gang was having none of it. Our leader discovered the breach and got himself excited over the chance of finding treasure. Try as I might, I couldn't talk him out of it. Soldier, can you speak to this defense? I wasn't there, of course, but I'm familiar with the arrest record. There was no gang, just a lone opportunist out to make her fortune breaking Curus's laws. The scouts could tell just by looking at her that she was headed for the breach. She's a fiery one. Put up quite a fight when they took her in custody. I have no reason to doubt the charges. So you had no interest in entering the old walls? Never. I grew up in the tiers. Even knew better than to go inside the old walls. If not because of Curus's law, because of the things lurking inside were like to eat us. Whatever you can find in the shadow of those ruins, it's not worth the risk. What was your gang doing in the old walls? Causing trouble, looting, no more or less than what gangs do. Our boss was obsessed with holding his position, which is healthy when you are in the Scarlet Chorus. When he came to the conclusion that the old walls might have some powerful artifacts, he resolved himself to find one at all costs. Funny to see a guy who wrapped up in survival trying to get himself killed. Typical behavior from someone who isn't confident in their leadership. Makes for a nice self-fulfilling prophecy when their own gang takes them down. See? She understands. Fox trick boasted verse. What's a favorable ruling toward to you? She snorts. I'd love to help you there, but the disfavor took everything I had. Pity. I had a mountain of rings that I would have split. You can thank our mutual friend over there, she nods to Stone Shield. The young lady was captured with some rusted weapons and a pittance of rings. I would hardly call that a mountain. You have your story, I have mine. Did your gang cause the breach in the old walls? What? Are you kidding me? It would either take an incredible force or incredible magic to bash through that arcane barrier. We had neither at our disposal. Either one of Kyros's edicts or some local mage caused the breach. Whatever ruling you make, don't pin that on me. I'm inclined to agree. Don't make the mistake of giving this one too much credit. I'm ready to make my judgment. Let's have it then. I hope you got everything you needed. At the very least, the evidence is insufficient to prove charges. You're free to go. Shoot, Fatebinder. Very shrewd. I think you do just fine. Lego technicalities are my favorite kind. Go rejoin the war effort with a new gang recruit. Start your own if you have a mind to. That's an order. Yes, ma'am. If you were gathering a force, I'll kill my way into your good graces. Pity I have to settle for less. This goes against my orders and my reason, but I cannot argue the ruling of Tunon's agent. I'll let you go. Try and stay out of trouble. I'll stay out of the old walls, but that's all I can promise. Okay. Ultimately, just killing few Scarlet Chorus agents really won't do us much good. It's not gonna win the war effort, but it could win us a little... Lead us into the good graces of the Scarlet Chorus. Can we? I don't know. We can sleep there, but we don't have to right now.
What do we have?
You're taking that? Oh, really?
Here.
You're really taking that. Osmia, hey there. You must be the Fatebinder of Tunon, the disfavored Iron Walker boss. Welcome to Ironheart. I'm sure that Graven Ash appreciates any help you can offer. The circumstances have a way of coming together so that the disfavored are always stretched thinner than we would like. What can I do for you? Why are the disfavored are so overworked? She rubs her palms together and frowns. We're trying to shoulder the brunt of the civil war without the strength of numbers. The Scarlet Chorus can throw 1,000 disposable bodies at an issue without a second thought, but we are forced to be on a little more... We were forced to be a little more discriminating. We might be trained to deal with the stress of combat and all-night drills, but we are fatigued even by high standards we set for ourselves. She studies you in a cautious manner. Not that I need to burden an agent of the court with my misgivings. Once the war is over and the tears are properly subdued, my hope is that Kyros dispatches some relief troops to support the occupation. We all deserve a season of rest. The court is always receptive of the needs of the soldiers. Your point is noted. That's very generous of you to say, Fatebinder. I'm grateful to know that someone is listening. A nervous smile brightens her expression. I'll be on my way. I don't really want to promise her that she's gonna get relieved, but she should have hope. Yeah, I represent you guys. Quartermaster! Even though you are not fully fledged disfavored recruit, I've been authorized to grant you purchasing rights from our store, within certain limits of course. Would you like to see what we have to offer? Show me your wares. What limits are those, actually? It's nothing personal, I assure you. Graven Ash wants us to control our supplies without restricting access to his army's supporters like yourself. The finest arms and freshest provisions are reserved for the soldiers under his direct command. I'm sure you understand. The Archon takes our protection very seriously. Is the agent of the court not deserving enough? The soldier hesitates. As Tunon's vassal, I'm sure you are afforded certain luxuries that don't extend to us. The same goes for the disfavored. Archon Ash recruited us from the Northern Empire, so we are subject to his favor. Such is his right. The quartermaster scratches the back of his head. This is a slight disgrace. I demand compensation. He sighs. You're demanding trouble what you're doing, but I don't have any cause to run afoul of Archon Ash's supporters. How about a one-time recompense to the tune of 50 rings, payment for any theoretical losses you've suffered? I'm just kidding you, soldier. Let me see your wares. You play some strange head games, don't you? Go ahead and take a look then. Looks like you guys have some crappy stuff. Not really crappy, but not exceptional. However, I can't afford it anyway, so I'm out. That's more like it. Oh, Graven Edge is standing outside? Can we get inside? Heavy leather armor. Not the best. So we can't get inside. We can just talk with Graven Ash outside. That is okay, I guess. Fatebinder, it's good of you to report in. These days it's difficult enough to judge friend from foe. I'm pleased to recognize you as the former of the two. Ash favors you with a curt nod. Yeah, he didn't like that. I see you brought the voice of Nerat spying whore to my doorstep. Lets you think me amused by your irresponsible conduct. Know what I am not. Know that I'm not. Versus a useful ally. I need her on my side. At least until we get tired of each other. Don't worry, old man. I'm not going to drive a blade into your spine. Not while you're wearing a breastplate as thick as the old walls, anyway. Graven Ash glares at Verse and returns his severe expression back to you. His mouth is set to this disapproving line, and he seems on the brink of saying more, but waves off the matter. After what transpired at Vendrian's Val, the disfavored must hold fast to our allies. You are here because of your support at the siege, but I don't mistake your confidence for devotion. The Scarlet Chorus would not have you. Well, I want to say that Tunon is my master. He stands above your pretty squabbles. If he stood above them, then he could see well enough how the voice of Nerat has conscripted against our forces since the beginning. No, for all his claims of objectivity, I have my suspicions that your educator is as compromised by this war as any of us. What is it you require? Tell me about yourself. I'm a family man. I have always believed that culture is grown from a family legacy and respect for the past. I've sired for 4 children in my long life. Asherin, Priam, Amelia, and Brannix. I'm a general to my soldiers, but a father as well. They have my confidence, my love, and my trust. There is nothing more to give. My days on Terratus span many more than any human lifetime. And on this journey I have learned much. I must be It must be said that I have also grown stubborn. I believe that matters must be handled a particular way and see no reason to waver in those beliefs, as they are the product of my experience. I don't want to ask about every one of your children. Come on. Let me ask you about something else. Tell me about your connection with your soldiers, just generally, not every single one of them. Every member of the disfavored is as precious to me as family. Their bloodlines are known and respected, their performance in combat beyond every expectation. I know I would go on any length in their service. They call me General or Archon, yet I consider myself a servant and guardian of these excellent women and men. But I suspect that isn't what you intended to hear. There's a deeper connection still. But no apprentice. But to apprentice it you must understand our history. I mean, oh come on. But to appreciate it, you must understand our history, my rebellion, and my rise to power. Cut to the chase, old man. This is no time for tail spinning. Nah, don't be disrespectful. I want to know about the disfavored. We are more than a mere army. I ensure that the disfavored legion represent everything we hold dear in the north. Rigid discipline, training to perfection, respect for law, and the importance of family. As conquerors, it is our duty to teach the savage lands not just how to live up to the values of the empire sets, but how to live for them. You regard the southerners with great severity. Oh, do tell. Eb's eyes alight with excitement. Do we smell bad? Is it the accent? The Legion takes hatred of the Tearsman, elevates it to an art form. Just what exactly did we do to offer such offense? The South has squatted in a willful ignorance of Kyros' superiority for so long that they don't deserve my respect. As the rest of the Empire coalesced into a united shared culture, the Tearsmen prided themselves as a district, as distinct. We looked on them from afar with nothing but scorn. All that I see in the Tears confirms my bias. There is lawlessness, neglect, corruption, infighting. Everything that wanted North has disposed of through superior breeding and culture. Everything. Okay. I see. I see hope, potential. You must be uncompromising in your execution of Kyros' law. Never forget that our stance on the battlefield already places us in the right. Don't let any pretense of southern values color your opinion. Of course, it's possible that these Tearsmen may come to enjoy all the best of Kyros' offerings, but it will take generations of trial and the long-term eradication of culture as they know it, avoided pursuit by any standard. Nice to hear the general confirm it. Tearsmen are a naturally defiant folk, and you would silence our ways for generations to shake the courage and tenacity out of our blood. Keep talking, Tycaster. You can join your friends in one of the many mass graves that littered the realm. I must say this conversation with Grave and Ash makes me like them a lot less. Well, I can't really say that was inappropriate. But, well, oh, okay. That was inappropriate. You just... Okay, that was inappropriate. Merrick, that's inappropriate. I was just stating an opinion. Mandrion's vow was proof that opinions are poison. I would not have them in this company or this fortress. Pity that we aren't of a similar mind. I didn't say that. That wasn't about that. That was you simply just can't tell our party members to go and die just because you don't like what they're saying. Let's talk about something else. How can I continue my service of the disfavored? These are troubled times for all, but not more so than the forces of Kyros. Our organized offense has splintered, loyalties are challenged at every level of command, and much that we built during the conquest crumbles under its own weight. We had thought the Vendrian Guard were the final death rattle of this region's defiance. We were wrong. The Tears have risen up against Kyros, emboldened by their countrymen. And while the disfavored labor to maintain order, the serpent voice of Nerad grows his army of lunatics and sellswords, preparing to lash out when we least suspected. So a little exercise in defiance wasn't a total failure. I'd try and find some cold comfort in that knowledge. I can only imagine that Voices is driving his gangs mad with plots to storm this fortress. There can be no peace while the voice of Nerad lives, and no order while the Scarlet Chorus rampage across these lands. The elimination of the cows must be our first priority. Then we will have our time to govern the Tears as Kyros intended. Can I depend upon your support against this scourge? What would you have me do? Our position of authority in the Blade Grave is far from secure. We need to establish ourselves in the region in order to cultivate our strength for the battle to come. As soon as I am confident in our chances, we will depart this realm and wipe the Chorus threat from the face of Terratus. The Unbroken, former daughters and sons of Stalwart, vex our efforts to secure this region. The Edict of Storms offers them cover. They slip past our patrols in the light of day, hiding their movements behind the clouds of dust and debris. Kyros cast blight on the country to set an example, not to plague those of us loyal to the north. You must travel to Sentinel Stand and seek out Stridus Herodin. He's the last of the old stalwart bloodline who called themselves regents. Put him to the sword and end this edict once and for all. Why is he so important to the edict? He would neither surrender nor impel his soldiers to do so. As such, Kyros' decree that storms would ravage the country until the regent was dead. Stridus Herodin was free to kill himself, of course, but he was either too proud or too gutless for the task. Why no one has killed Herodin yet? Because he persists in the crouching behind the walls of Sentinel Stand. With the Edict of Storms raging around the Citadel, no one has been able to enter or exit since the last year of the conquest. No bird or missive has left the Windwall either. The edict is all the proof we have that Herodin still lives. Who is Stridus Herodin? The last of an elder bloodline that ruled Stalwart and maintained its dignity. He is also a filthy coward. During the last battle of Stalwart, he crouched behind the walls of Sentinel Standkeep and refused to meet our forces on the field of battle. Consider him dead. Find the last regent, kill him, end this Edict of Storms, and staunch his seeping wound of rebellion once and for all. The downfall of the Unbroken and the old regent will send a message throughout the Tears. Our rule is absolute, and dissidents will not be tolerated. Could we not find a common ground with the people of Stalwart? Your decency is a breath of fresh air, considering how long I've endured the company of course, rapists and murderers. The people of Stalwart made their choice when they refused to bend the knee. They were aware of the stakes and even the edict has not changed their hearts. Cooperation is a naive hope that died long ago. I will travel to Sentinel Stand and judge by my findings.
My armor feels lighter.
If your perspective is as lawful and orderly as it ought to be, the right path should seem clear. The Unbroken must be destroyed, and the edict must end. Should you arrive at any other conclusion, I suggest you stifle your opinion and follow orders like any good soldier. There is one final matter to discuss. My daughter went missing in the second year of the conquest. I have reason to believe she is trapped in the fortress of Sentinel Stand. If you can find Amelia, bring her home to me. What makes you think she's still alive? Oh, come on. We have traveled together through this fallen, corrupt land. You are no doubt aware of the aegis I extend to my troops. It is the boon I grant my northerners for loyal service and devotion to our shared cause. As my army feels my guardianship, I am keenly aware of them in turn, their concern, their pain. It is my burden to carry as their leader. Amelia is alive. I have awoken at night, in cold sweats, my bile rising with violence. What torment she suffers at the hands of those stalwart animals is a mystery. I only want her restored to heal in the company of the Legion. Let's not suggest that. Tell me about Amelia. She has her father's stubborn persistence. She is an excellent fighter, though more brazen and eager to test herself on the field of battle. I have objected to this disposition in the past, but it seems as integral to her as being as the very breath she draws. Our relationship has endured its challenges the last several years. I have been a better general to her than a father. Once the war is over and she is restored to the Legion, I hope we can find it ourselves to know each other once more. How do you know she's in Sentinel Stand? It is one location in all of Starward we cannot reach. If her detachment of soldiers was taken captive, she would have been placed beyond my power, no doubt for the southern wretches to use for negotiation. His expression twists with distaste. Yeah, I found her, no problem. I ensure her safe return. That is all I ask. Amelia is but one soldier, yet if I had the forces to dispatch, I would make her retrieval my highest priority. She is a commander of the highest renown, and a paragon of northern values. Fatebinder, I offer you my support on this mission. The Blade Grave is a place of memory. I left many cohorts buried among the ruins, and no small part of myself as well. Could you elaborate? I would just say yeah. The matter is a sensitive one, but I fear to speak it in the company of the great general. Though he doubtless knows it already, Beric attempts to stand tall before Graven Ash. Speak on, son of Barry Conan. Nothing I've seen you accomplish in the field has diminished you in my eyes, and I know my soldiers as well as I know myself, Ash nods with approval. I lost countrymen by the hundreds in the last day of the Stalver campaign, and for my troubles, I became fused in this armor. The Blade Grave is the last place I have ever felt human. This is all I will say about it now. The last battle of Stalwart was a terrible time, perhaps most of all for you who survive. I mourn those we lost, and recite their names often during the morning drills. We cannot restore their broken bodies to the north, but we can remember them as they were. You have much invested in this mission, of course you can accompany me. I appreciate that, Fatebinder. Graven Ash is attentive and understanding to each of his troops. and it pleases me to see his example in you. Oh, come on! Seriously? And in you, Armored One. Hey, call him by his name. Never forget that I found you at the mere germination of your potential, and you have accomplished much in the ensuing years. Thank you, General. Though it is impossible to tell through his helmet, you assume that Beric is blushing. Your map is already marked with the position of Sentinel Stand. It would take 100 lifetimes to forget those old walls, or the day the edict shattered or advance. Let's be off then. So, looks like we're done here. Didn't do much investigating, but we definitely have a place to go. And seems like that place is Sentinel Stand. Kado Village too. Anyhow, I'll decide later. And this is the end of this episode. Hope you enjoyed and see you in the next one. And have a good one.